Willie D Live.
It's Willie D, y'all, back with another episode of information and instructions to help you navigate through this wild, crazy, beautiful world. In the studio, Kid Coolot and Playboy.
You nailed it already.
What y'all thought?
You done
man?
done your research.
You done your research.
What's up, Willie?
Man, these are legends. You know how people call me a legend?
Yeah.
Like
that you are.
Y'all guys.
I don't know. I feel like we're still working on that, but
That's good.
I like words like pioneer. I can see that.
Pioneer.
Yeah, you know, we proved that, as you call it, we could put butts in the seats in the theater.
Butts.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Big
But
butt.
also too, maybe icons. But you know, we in
like
like-minded
Right.
company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Right.
ghetto boys, forget about it, man.
Right.
Willie D, forget about it.
So
You know
Kid
what I'm saying?
Kid Cool Out and Playboy became Kid and Play.
Kid
Can
and
you
Play.
imagine that?
You don't have to
and
imagine it.
The trip part is like when you guys first started, you know, you had you came from different rival groups, right?
Correct.
You know, you were part of Turnout Brothers.
The Turnout
Yeah,
Brothers.
Turnout Brothers, and you were part of Super Players,
Super lovers.
Super Lovers. That's
Yeah.
Super lovers.
You done your homework. I
Yeah.
mean, we're impressed and we love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was rival, but it was all in good fun because we would do something at an event with the two crews going at it, but the very next day all hanging out together
Yeah, we
because
were all
one of
friends.
the members in his group was literally a brother, biological, to one of the main members in my group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a
But,
friendly rivalry.
It was a friendly rivalry, but made it so good at the time, and even better looking at it. It was a time where, in the immortal words of Allen Iverson, we practiced.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was a big thing to be in someone's basement, come up with routines, private. You didn't want nobody to hear them joints until we was ready to do a show that meant everything to us.
Yeah.
And we did them shows like we were getting paid.
And we
You
were
know
not
they getting
no.
paid?
No, this was I mean, and I'm sure you experienced this as y'all was coming up. You know, these were shows at high schools. You know, these are shows at like community centers.
Exactly.
Show me what you got.
Yeah, I mean, and it had to be for the love of it, or you know, as Play likes to say a lot, either the attention of the ladies. That was a big motivation for him.
Great incentive.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. Y'all
What
are
else-
aligned.
What,
I
else, what
see
else
that.
would the incentive be for?
Well,
I'm not
you know
interested
what?
in
No,
impressing
that wasn't
no
mine.
dude. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
But that wasn't mine. Mine was, to be honest,
Always.
I just wanted,
Wanted
wanted something to belong to. You know what I'm saying? Like
You're reminding me of a puppy right now.
Maybe. Yeah, I was the new kid in town.
What's that
All
cartoon
y'all-
with
all y'all
Chili
dudes
Willie with the little tear coming down, the little penguin with the tear coming down his eye?
Wait, no, it's so cold it turns into an ice
Yeah,
cube. The penguin, he's crying.
No, I would agree that's part of that too. But for me, it was for the fancy of a lady. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was amazing, and I think Kid could agree. The anticipation, days before this event at Flushing High School or this particular basement party or whatever the case may be, it meant everything.
Yeah.
And I think we went back and forth. Like we'd win,
Totally.
then the next party y'all win, and then it got so much like that we'd go like, "Yo, who won last time?" Because then we would know who's going to probably win this time because it's our turn. But those things meant everything, and it was ultimate. Nobody's showing nothing, and then the next day, someone would tape it on a cassette tape, and that's what would play throughout the neighborhood,
and
like a hit record.
Yeah,
you know?
I think that's why maybe just the concept of when we got to do a movie like House Party, like it wasn't new to us at all. Mm-hmm. That's literally
Copy and paste.
how we started. Yeah, like performing at house parties, Sweet 16 parties, where you're on the mic, but the mic is attached to the mixer, so you can't go but so far. This is what's going on. So when it came full circle, like we go do a movie, house party, this and that. We just like that's
That's how the crowd
it's
was.
kind
When
of
you
easy.
look at that part in the party scene with the so-called battle, and you see Tisha Campbell and A.J. Johnson's position at that party. That's just how it would be.
Yeah.
On the come up,
You was
you have
rapping
them
to
certain
them.
girls that be like,
Yeah.
but it would be, even if it's a little basement party, someone's home basement party for a birthday or whatever, crowded, like the humidity and the heat was bananas, and this is wintertime, and then everybody just, when it was time for whoever to get on the mic, you just had that attention, that cipher, like
and
looking circle with people watching.
And it gets, it kind of captivates you. You get what they call it. You get the bug. So don't tell me you didn't get the bug.
Yeah,
Willie, you got the
I
bug.
I got the bug. I got the bug when I watched that House Party movie too, because I was thinking to myself, I wonder, how they say first there's the party, then the after party, or the concert, then the after party.
Mm-hmm.
That was a house party, but was there another house party taking place where in real life where no cameras, all action?
Of course,
that was him. That was this guy.
Yeah.
He was way more, when we were younger, especially when we were young, he was way more adept, as we say, and in terms of, talking to girls and rapping to girls, as we used to say. I had virtually no game.
But the man's name was Playboy.
His name was Playboy. Playboy Mr. C.
I didn't know at first what you were talking about, but I get what you're saying, because yes, it's like, whose crib we going to next, or to start coupling off, or whatever the case may be. Or, you're kind of right, when the party was over, who's going to stay behind in the name of cleaning up? But it wasn't really that, because you'd hear from the girl, because 9 times out of 10 it was a girl's party, and be like, when this, in so many words, when this thing is over, us, so-and-so and so-and-so, the other girls, we're going to stick around, y'all can stay around. You know what I'm saying? Hey, just lay back, fall back, in the name of you're going to stay back to clean up.
Right.
Which...
Wasn't it a girl? Who wasn't it? A girl's
Paula.
No. You talking about real life? I'm talking about. You talking about real life?
Sorry, Paula.
Shout out to Paula. But what I'm saying is, you were talking earlier about Cooley High. Wasn't that at a girl? It was the girl's house.
Yeah, it was.
When she
It was
talking about
always
stay
a
on
girl's
break
house.
front,
Yeah.
all this and that, right? That was a girl. That was a girl's.
Yeah,
her parents was out of town.
I don't remember too many parties where dudes threw the party.
No,
and
dude
it's not
never
like
threw
it
the
didn't
party.
happen, but it was always a girl, and it was about like if their family was out of town, the parents
Family out of town,
and you got to make sure that don't break anything for the most part.
Don't break nothing.
But it meant everything to throw a party. It's like when you'd hear about it, like how much is like a couple of weeks in advance, like so and so's throwing a party.
I don't know. It could have been the day of. We don't know. We was coming either way.
I was just watching that, man. I'm like, man, these dudes was like, they having some fun.
But y'all wasn't getting down like that. They sound like that.
Yeah,
Y'all
but I'm talking about y'all had a film though, man. We was watching y'all.
Well, you know what was
TV,
interesting
man.
about House Party, and I tell the story. If you notice in the movie, they never speak, or we never speak, the characters, on what city we were in. It was never mentioned. And Reggie
By design.
Warrington Hudlin did that on purpose, because they wanted everyone, wherever you lived at, for it to be relatable as possible.
Yeah.
That, wow, this could be in
this
my
ain't Compton.
neighborhood,
This ain't
you
New
know?
York. This
Yeah,
ain't
none of-
Detroit.
So
It's not
there's
H-Town.
Nowhere is never mentioned.
It's your town.
So that's why we don't see the big skyscrapers and all of that kind of stuff.
Probably.
Did you? Not in that movie.
Exactly.
Not in House Party. No, you did
Yeah,
not.
Yeah.
That's brilliant, man.
Yeah, it is. I thought like,
Yeah.
wow,
Say
when
less.
Warrington Hudlin told me that, I says, wow, that is like so genius. I think that's the mistake. The latest one they tried to do, they made it very West Coast, because even when I saw it, we went to what was supposed to be the premiere. There was West Side inside jokes that I didn't know what they were, but you knew them because you've been to the thing.
because I live out there.
Yeah, I didn't
Right.
know some of what they were referring to. It was a swap meet.
All that LA.
them
Like, you
terms.
ain't know what's wrong.
No, I knew the term swap meet, but there was a certain term they used it in. And come to find out, it was
Yeah, it was a
related
lot of
to
stuff,
that, you know?
and the director himself. I remember he had
He
a little
made that
speech.
speech
he
saying he
said
wanted
this
to-
is a love letter
to
Los Angeles, because that's where he grew up and So this last iteration of House Party that
shout
they
out to
did,
the West.
yeah, and they made no bones about it, and that's You know what I mean? That's where they stand. But to Play's point, the original. And even the one, we did 3 house parties. We had a hell of a run, but you still never knew where we were
that's
at.
true,
You
too.
didn't know what city we was at. You didn't know, and you didn't need to know. And come to find out, you didn't have to know. By then, by the second and third one, you're invested in us.
Now, when I think to one of them, what was the one where they had the blind rappers? And how they
that was the third one.
Yeah, how
that
they
was
was
the
in the
third.
car.
All right,
that long
it got a little wacky at the end.
long
Okay,
stick
that was
to
pretty
try and
funny. Yeah.
drop.
A little wacky,
They had a
but
car with a long stick to try and
I
make
thought it was funny.
I'm like, this is stupid, but funny.
It was
You know what I'm
stupid,
saying?
yeah.
But how cool was it to do those movies, man, and see so many now like real icons and legends who came through that
portal.
That portal. I mean, House Party was a conduit for all of those.
Totally.
New,
I think that's
new
part
people.
of our legacy. Not only did we
Keisha
get a
Campbell,
chance to
Martin.
see, but to be a part of Queen Latifah. What's the
They
name
was
of the
all
little
up in there.
guys? Immature.
John Witherspoon.
John
Immature.
Witherspoon. Bernie Mac. Chris Tucker.
Bernie Mac.
So many.
Robin Harris.
Yeah.
The King.
Yeah,
The
man.
King. Right?
Yeah.
No, I mean, to be honest, and
Always.
obviously, if you're talking about somebody like a Robin Harris, you just like, obviously gone way too soon. But I mean,
Even Bernie Mac.
gone too soon. But we had moments with these people on and off. I mean, if you talking about the first house party, Robin played my father, so me and him was together a lot. Even just sitting around waiting to shoot stuff.
How was he like off screen?
Man, this dude was something else, man.
It's funny. I didn't have a lot of scenes with him, if any at all. And I remember when I would come, because sometimes I'd have days off, but I would just come to the set, lunchtime, break time, or whatever, and people wanted to hear him snap. So I would be that sacrificial lamb and just say something smart
true.
to him to get him going. It was just worth it.
Well, I got a couple of Robin Harris stories real quick. Like, number one was, this is back in the day. So when we did the first house party, you would literally get paid with a paycheck, right? So you would get a paycheck, at I don't know, end of the week or end of 2 weeks or whatever like that. So this is one Friday, and we got our paychecks, and Robin says, "What you gonna do?" I said, "Man, I got this check. I want to cash this check." He said, "Come with me." "Come with me." So he used to have a Mustang 5.0, da 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 da, and so I go with him, and he takes me to the bank where he used to be a security guard. So we can go cash our checks there. He want to let them know, but hey, I'm coming. Yeah, you see who I got with me? I got a kid with me. You been finna cash this check.
Why do I envision Robin cussing out one of the tellers? Did he
Listen,
cuss
no,
him
he
out?
didn't. No. But guess what? He didn't. No, but he didn't come with no malice. He just came like,
Yeah.
I told y'all, I told y'all,
Mm-hmm.
and everybody was Robin, you did. I'll tell you, this is the other story. He told me, because we had a lot of downtime in between shooting scenes. So he tells me a story about how he was dating this young lady, and he said the lady wanted to invite him over to meet her parents. So he nervous. He like, oh man, I gotta go over and meet her parents. And so he go over there. They want to have dinner. They have dinner with the parents, and and everything goes great. You know what I mean? The sister, you got the parents there, and everything's going good. And then dinner's over, and there's dessert. Mama done made a pie. So they eat the pie, and they get this last slice of pie left. And the father, this is Robin telling me the story. Robin said, man, the father said, man, Robin, gonna get you that last slice of pie. Robin, you don't want to make no waves. No, sir, I'm fine. I'm full. Thank you so much. He said, man, go on, Robin, get that last slice of pie. No, sir, no, I'm so, but man, you better get that. Mama that made that pie. Get you that last slice of pie. And Robin finally said, all right, thank you, sir. Boom. And he ate the last slice of pie. So they afterwards, the mother and father they're in the kitchen, washing dishes, cleaning up, whatever. Robin got to go to the bathroom. But to go to the bathroom, you got to pass by the kitchen. So he walking by the kitchen, and he heard the father say to the mother, "Can you believe that nigga ate the last slice of pie?" That's
a funny.
that's the type of shit he
Yeah.
said. And to Play's point, we would be sacrificial lamb. We was just like, "Hey, mother," so he said, "Oh, look at you, hair looking like a Abraham Lincoln hat looking ass nigga."
It was worth it to just get him started. But I mean, you had Martin around. You had all these other comedians and stuff around.
Bow-legged Lou.
And just the antics and the jokes. Yeah. And, you know, for me, it was interesting because, you know, I want to get with a particular extra that I may see, be in the camper or whatever, or trailers or whatever the case may be. But it was everything for the cypher to see these cats, you know, all of us just, because we're all happy to be there. This is the first time everybody
we wasn't making no
outside
money.
Of AJ, maybe a couple of others.
Tisha had some experience.
Yeah, Tisha, I'm sorry. You know, to be there. So it was different because we're thinking, nah, you know, we done music videos, we done this, was to make a movie, but it is different. It's work. But at the same time, you're being with a group of people. Like you said, we didn't know where everybody was going to be headed, but we all knew, we felt we had something. You know what
How
I'm
much
saying?
money y'all made off that film?
You know, that's the reason why I didn't want to do the movie, because we was making, in comparison, way more money being on the road, and we had to leave the road to come do this film. The money was good money, but the money doing live touring was better. I'm looking at the history of hip-hop in theater.
We was doing shows with y'all. You know what I'm saying? We was on.
So I didn't want to do the movie, and because I'm looking at the history of it, like I said, Run DMC, a lot of people forget they made a movie, Tougher Than Leather. You had Beat Street. All of these movies that became cult classics in time, but in the box office at the time. So I'm like, who is Kid and Play? If Run DMC can't pull off a movie, who is Kid and Play to run? And I know why it was successful later, but I was outvoted by him and Herbie because that was an agreement we had. Majority wins. They outvoted me, and we ended up doing it. The best thing that I ever was wrong about. And the money was good, but the money on the road at the time, and that almost leads me to something I'm going to talk to you about. Well, I'll get into that later.
Yeah,
but
that's late. Yeah. But you know what? It was, I think it was, it was a vibe. To Play's point, were we making more money out on the road from week to week? Yes, we were. For what I got paid for House Party, but there was something about it. I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the vibe when they saying like don't think short. That's short money. You know what I mean? That's tour money is short money.
What a great man once said to me, and don't forget your thought, you don't want to be penny wise and pound foolish.
Yeah,
you know,
that was the vibe.
That's what and he really told me. He said, "Play, you have the thing to be really good in this thing," because we was negotiating a new record. Fred Mineo was the one who said it to me. But you need to be careful not to be penny wise and pound foolish. And I wasn't thinking about what we could do.
And I'm not saying I was. First of all, anybody that knows me knows I ain't no financial genius. I'm just a vibe guy, and I'm like, this thing here, it feels like it could be something now. You know, we probably not getting the money that we could get elsewhere doing that stuff. But I was of the mindset, and I told Play and I told Herbie, I was like, man, I got a feeling about it. Like when I read the original script, it wasn't all the way there. But it was the closest thing. We had been approached with scripts before, and a lot of them was trash. They was just like really silly, you know what I mean, like donkey shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, we're not going out like that. But this one was different. This one had a heart. And I was like, you know what? If it's 70, 75% there, I said, I feel we could get it the rest of the way, or really pretty close. And that's what ended up happening. And I mean, you know, that's a game changer.
I think for Herbie, it was a good move because it was a reason for us to be in L.A., you know, to actually like live there and, you know, the women and the vibe and all that stuff. The mystique of L.A. in regards to the fact that, you know, we've never really, really been there to experience. And we're going to be, professionally, you call it, we were the principals. but to be the stars of our own movie, you know what I'm saying, was sounded really good, you know.
I mean, but I'm about to, I can ask you the same question. Like, when Mind Playing Tricks on You was presented to you, was there any way in the world that you would think that it would become the blockbuster that it was? Did you even like it at first?
Well, I look at all the songs like my children. You know, like each one of those songs, I put my foot into. I don't care if I'm doing a song about concrete. It's gonna be the coldest damn concrete song you ever heard. So that's how I approach songs. I approach songs. I don't try to write hits. I try to write classics. Just write songs that you will never forget. So when I did Mind Playing Tricks, I just put my foot into it, and then I went on by my business. And so I didn't know what Mind Playing Tricks was going to become.
So when they bring it, sorry, just for my own edification, because I'm curious, right? So when they bring Mind Playing Tricks to you, is it just the track? Is Face and Bill on it?
No, Face.
Or how, you know what I'm saying?
When I first heard it, I think.
Who produced that joint? Did Red do who produced that joint?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I don't really know. I don't really know who did what.
Who did that?
I don't really know who did what, because I think I just heard the beat. I heard the music, and I just took it, and then I did my verse.
Right.
I think that's my recollection. But when I heard it, I didn't know. I just thought it was just a good song. The people said it was great. I think it's great because I got paid. But, you know, to me, it was just like all the other songs. You know, it's like, okay, I did my work on that song. Okay, next. I never fall in love with songs like that when I'm making songs.
I think we all have to think about and being honest about who we were and where we were at in life with a lot of this stuff. Because for me, you know, I teach hip-hop. I'm at my fourth HBCU.
Congratulations, man. That's impressive.
Thank you. But what I try and get into is the fact that, you know, I don't think that we all knew our value or what we had in any of this stuff we're doing during the course of this journey. Because we're thinking, you know, for me, it's something to do. It's something in the meantime, kind of, sort of, subconsciously. So for us to put that much energy in, like, oh, this is what House Party's going to do. This is what Mind's Playing Tricks on Me going to do. At the time, like you said, there's something there. There's something about it. But at the same time, where we at in life right now, we still living with our parents, even though we got hits? Are we, you know, how are we with material, what we have in our life, what's going on in our life for these things to be going on? We're living maybe almost just day by day. But we don't know that it's going to become what it's going to become, and how dare we take credit and say, oh, I always knew. You know what I'm saying? This was part of the plan. It was nothing like that, whatsoever.
I don't think we could ever say that. And so, I would say I would draw that parallel, like you saying, like you know, Mind Playing Tricks was going to be there, and we sure didn't know that House Party, you know, would be the standard bearer to this day that it is. Real quick, a House Party story. Before it came out, they called us up. New Line Cinema called us up and said, "Hey man, we want you to come to this screening. We're doing a screening in Newark, New Jersey." Which is, you know, anybody know Newark.
They had high school
kids. Yeah, they had a bunch of high school kids. They're all from Newark. Yeah. And they're going to get them in, and they're going to show the movie. And they had us upstairs in the balcony when nobody else was. So they didn't want people to know we were there. So this is me and dude up in the balcony and watching the movie. And at first, I don't know if you remember this, they told us they were just going to show like a 10-minute snippet. Mm-hmm. That's what they first, but as it went on, they were showing the whole damn movie. Wow. Okay? So we're watching it. Man, these kids are going out of their freaking mind. And this is how I knew. This is how I knew we had something. It was that part in the movie where, you know, man, I'm getting chased all over town, full force on me, da-da-da-da-da-da. And I finally get out on the street, and then plays in the car with Martin and the girls and stuff like that. And dude, he sees me. You know he sees me. I'm waving my hands. I'm like, yo, get me. These niggas chasing me. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And he just goes out there. And then Martin's like, yo, wasn't that place? Ah, man, he be all right. He gets to the party like
no,
that.
I said, was it? I'm like,
yeah.
I was like,
You
I was playing dumb.
buff me off, this and that. Man, at that point in the movie, some kid jumped up out of the seat. He said, play, you ain't shit! And we was like, but that's how it hit him. That's just like, how you do your mans like that?
People got involved. They really got involved.
You seen this movie for the first time, and then we looked at each other. We was like, yo, this is gonna be a thing, cause it's hitting them. It hit them. It was close to home. It was black, but it wasn't. It was hip hop, but it was about family life. It was about a father trying to keep his son in check. It was about another son trying to sneak around while his parents was out of town. Man, that's universal.
And I think that was part of the chemistry and the DNA of the success of the movie, because you had two individuals that weren't portraying like rap stars or anything like this. It was just two common cats on the wannabe tip. You know what I'm saying? Got a little buzz in their community, in the story. So that's why it was so relatable, and it resonates with crowds because they can see themselves in this. But if you're to be a character that you're asking them to join us because we're stars in the film, we are already rap stars, we already established these characters, it could work, but it might not work. But due to the fact that our characters weren't successful, we were ordinary kids,
underdogs,
doing what ordinary kids do in the neighborhood, wanting to rap.
Underdogs.
And also get these girls, Shireen and Sydney. Everybody can relate
and the
to
bullies
them.
and the bullies is chasing us. We're under pressure. You know what I mean? The parents, his parents are out of town. He want to have this great party because he's the impresario of the neighborhood.
Word
but at
of
the
the
same
day.
time,
Word of the day, impresario.
Yeah, word of the day.
Word of the day.
Wait, but at the same time, he got in the back of his mind, I can't let these dudes break up my house before my parents come home. That's why when the toilet get broke, that's when he threw everybody out. He's like, the jig is up. You know what I mean? I'm under pressure. I know I'm not supposed to be out. I know ain't no telling. I'm sure my father's looking for me, but I'm just going, you know what I mean? And the pressure of, do I talk to this girl? Do I talk to that girl? What, you know what I mean? What's happening? All right, man, me and my boy got a battle on the mic. That's pressure. You know what I'm saying? Martin Lawrence on the DJ, he want to beat Chill's ass because he keep bumping into the table. There's a lot of things going on, but everybody seemed to identify with it, and that was just like, we lived that already. That's why it wasn't difficult.
That's why I want to say, even in my personal life, and I don't think I've ever shared this story with Kid, I used to be on punishment a lot under my parents' home.
Shocker.
And it was set up, and we was on the second floor of a 3-floor thing, family home. We was on the second thing. But in the kitchen, you had a back door that would lead to the back of the house. A lot of people would, the families living there, including ours, we'd keep stuff in there. People would just put stuff there and it'd be like stacked up, like hoarding stuff. Not hoarding, but you just had stuff back there.
This is in Queens?
Yeah, in Queens.
East Hurst?
This would be East Elmhurst.
East Elmhurst, yeah.
So it was a staircase in the back, less traveled. So we'd have these parties in the neighborhood. I gotta be at this party. I just got to be. So what I would do, I'm on punishment. I would take the pajamas that I would wear and sit them out in the back of this back staircase. The door getting out is near the refrigerator in the kitchen. So what I would do, once the house was settled in and stuff for the evening, I'd go out that back, go hit the party, and when it's time to come back, put the pajamas on in the back and come through that door in the kitchen. One night, I think it was my father or mother.
Brilliant.
They're just coming in, and I'm just coming in the thing. Thank God that door is near the kitchen. Near the refrigerator. Because I was able real quick to go through the thing with my pajamas on and open the fridge like I'm in the fridge in the middle of the night, yawning like, hey, Mom, whatever, like this. I'll never forget that. I did that so much. I remember one time it rained, and I almost got caught out there soaking wet, putting pajamas on, hurrying up to get in before anybody noticed that I was gone. I had like 2 or 3 times.
These were-
But this was a story that was relating
Yeah,
to
yeah.
those kind of adventures, those type of characters and stuff would go through. The party meant everything. The neighborhood house party meant everything.
That was our world.
Yeah, and that's
that was
why
our
it worked
world.
all over the planet or in the country, because everybody at that time, that era, knew something about a house party. You know what I'm saying? It's just a universal term, you know?
The party that you went to growing up, you talking about at 127 Park?
No, that was almost more or equal
Those are
to
the
house
street
party.
parties.
That was a big
This is-
that was a big in the park. That was where the big DJs would come with these huge speakers called earthquake speakers, and they were credibly named.
When you
And
hear
that's
about
where
them
they've
plugging
been.
into
light
the
posts,
light,
all of that
yeah, they
stuff.
would. You know, that's what they
Yeah.
would do. That's what our upbringing was. That was more of like the day vibe.
Day going into the night.
Day going into the night,
Yeah.
and then the night vibe was
Very, very
such and such
community-
having a sweet 16 party.
So
boom, boom,
much
whap.
community involved in that.
A lot of community.
So much community, because even what was the beauty of it too is, of course, there's houses near the park, and maybe 1 or 2 very rarely would complain about, yo, shut down the music and stuff in the park. No, you'd see on people sitting on their stoops,
Yeah, just
you know,
chilling.
parents and stuff,
Yeah.
enjoying the music. See when these park jams took place, and this particular one would be East Elmhurst. You had Queensbridge, you had Astoria, you had Flushing, you had other parts of Queens that would come from those areas. The number 7 train or the Q66 bus, all coming from these areas to these parties. So it wasn't just that community. It was so many others. I don't know what you got 5th Ward, different wards.
Yeah,
it
you
would
know
be
what?
like that. Whatever place would have a park party, your different wards would come. And of course, there may be some issues because all this territorial thing. But now comes in the phrase, music calms the savage beast. Cats like, let's not ruin it right now. We know who we going to get at later when it's over.
Yeah.
But right now, we going to party.
Yeah.
Man, how did you get so community oriented? Because I heard, this allegedly, you wanted to be a street dude. You wanted to be a gangster growing up. Following your daddy footsteps.
I was.
So how did you get community?
I was one, as far as a stick-up person.
Stick-up kid.
Yeah. All that gangster stuff or whatever. It's like you had to. You wanted to keep that on the down low. That's nothing you wanted a lot of people doing, because that's how you get caught. And you might not just get caught by officers. Someone knows someone that wants to retaliate or revenge something you did to somebody So that was like, you go to another area to do that. You don't crap where you eat at kind of situation. But I want to cap it all with, I was a wannabe. We didn't have what a lot of kids have today. They could look at rap and say, okay, this is what I want to do or whatever. In our come up, we didn't have those images in our life. We had black exploitation films where, drug cats and the pimps and the hustlers. My father, being a successful urban pharmaceutical engineer, that's what I'll call him, I was kind of following his footsteps. But I always, in my testimony, say God used hip-hop to save my life, because I realized I had some degree of talent in that area. The risk factor was no risk or anything like that. But look at what was before me at the time, what my father was into, what was on the big screen. Even in the neighborhood, cats like Fat Cat and Nicky Barnes and Frank White and all of this kind of stuff, that's what's before you. You're thinking that's your future. You know what I'm saying? And those are the people that I admired at the time. So kind of short-lived, not so much, and nothing I'm really proud of. But I use that when I'm speaking to kids or speaking and stuff, is that I might not be able to tell you what to do on the come up, but I can sure not be able to tell you what not to do on the come up.
So when does the light come on for you to start HP4 Digital?
That was something, because I think when Kid and I, unintentionally separated, he had moved to L.A., I'm still in New York. HP4 was a spinoff of House Party 4, which there was never a 4. So that was me just representing where I'm going in my life in regards to digital works, film, getting into technology. I've always admired nerds, especially cool nerds. You know what I'm saying? Where, one cat I liked, the artist, Intelligent Hoodlum, where his whole thing was, I do this out in the streets, I'm a hood, but I'm intelligent with it. My words, my vocabulary, my knowledge, all of that. I always thought that was a slick way to accomplish at the time. But that's all that was. It was a company I started, and the HB4 was really meant, it was an acronym for House Party 4. This is the house party next in my life, Yeah.
Kid, you have any foundations? You got any things like that going on?
Oh, so do not. I feel really bad right now. I should, no. But you know what? I'll tell you what I do. What I've come to appreciate over the years is as much as we've accomplished together. Mm-hmm. There's so much that we've accomplished separately.
Mm-hmm.
When we had like a little hiatus, a little time off. And I'll be honest, and I've told Play this. I think I have. I certainly admired what he was doing on his own when he delved into that world of just learning so much about the technology of the business and becoming a documentarian and just really immersing himself into it and going back to school and then teaching at schools. You know what I'm saying? That's not the guy that I met. This is a guy that was allergic to school, and now he was embracing it and helping others. If he was teaching at North Carolina A&T, if he was teaching at FAMU, if he was going to school at Miles College, if he was being, kind of a quasi administrator at Virginia State, like that stuff was very, very impressive to me. I've met students that were in some of his classes, and they were like, "Man, this was the best. This was my favorite class." Talking about hip hop in context, in relationship to society, and all really kind of cool stuff. And they come in there and there's a DJ playing and but he's really teaching them something. But unfortunately, correct me if I'm wrong, especially when you're dealing with financially strapped HBCUs, when it comes time for classes and courses to get cut, those are the ones, unfortunately, that get cut. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I mean, you go back to hip-hop period, how it emerged, because those programs, after-school programs and music classes was cut, right. So you're right. Yeah.
So my point is, I always admired like what he was doing when he was dolo. He was dolo. I was dolo. Like he said, I went to L.A. I was on one or whatever, or just some things that I wanted to do. We didn't dead Kid and Play. We didn't stamp our feet, and what I'm saying, there wasn't a fight, and we said like this is not. It was just like the groove of life was taking us.
I would say when people came and said, I heard you and Kid broke up. I said, no, Kid and Play grew up. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think he's answering the question. I think what he should do, because as I'm hearing about him in L.A., I thought your move, and I don't think I ever said this to you, was, all right, since Kid and Play isn't interested in Kid and Play in that season, let me take the momentum and the notoriety and the popularity of the brand. People never used that word back then, of the brand, and let me take advantage of it, which I thought was a smart move, because then you was on Sister,
yeah,
and then doing your role in the Temptations movie. I thought it was a smart move for you to take advantage of that probable momentum of Kid and Play. You got the high top. You didn't have it. Everybody knows you no matter high top or no high top. But then to get into comedy, which, whoa, you talk about having the courage to get up there and say, okay, I'm going to make you laugh. And most people like, okay, and for you to embark upon that, I thought was like, wow. Because I never knew. Yeah. I mean, we knew
That comedy
comedians,
big.
and I
That
know you
comedy
give a lot of
that's
credit
something
to
serious right
Tommy
there, man.
Davidson.
Well-
A lot of people, you give a lot of credit to Tommy Davidson and to Bill Maher.
I do.
But for you, for the
Right.
bravery, and I'm not just telling you this because you're in front of me. I've been to your things, and you make me cry laughing, like literally.
Right.
I mean, one of my
Well-
favorite jokes was the one about the diamond Kmart, whatever, not Kmart, giving the girl a diamond, give me my
God.
thing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, I still use that joke. That's
yeah.
I can't let it go. That's
Yeah,
like
you know
like an
what I'm
old
saying?
girlfriend that got some good booty. I can't let it go.
What's the name of the diamond store?
Oh,
Whatever.
every kiss begins with K. Give me my shit, nigga.
That joke always, and all the others, but he seriously, and I missed it when we did one of the cruises. I think you did do a thing. And I remember Salt, Cheryl, and all of them was like, when they spoke to me there, it's like, yo, because they never seen it. It's like, he's really funny. You know what I'm saying? But
Well, I will say this, and I appreciate that. But what I will say is this: when I started trying to do stand up, when I started doing stand up, man, I was really at a crossroads.
Mm-hmm.
Kid and Play, we were in a valley. No beef, but we were in a valley.
And the gangster rap thing is
Gangster
going on
rap
too.
killing
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
We looking mad corny. You know what I'm saying? Like we looking, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, what I gotta do something. And what I found out once I got started, and like Play said, like people like Tommy Davidson and people like Bill Maher helped me kind of get off my feet as far as that's concerned. But what I found out when I started doing stand up, I was like, wait a minute. When I'm on stage, it didn't feel unfamiliar because guess what? We're rappers, and what I found out was my career as a rapper kind of prepared me. Any comedian that's just starting out the bricks will tell you the biggest part of the battle is feeling comfortable on stage in front of people that you don't know. But we already had that. We've been, we was on tour with y'all. We on tour with everybody, man. I've been in front of 20, 30, 40,000 people. So I don't have that problem. It's just the material is different. I'm not singing, I'm not rapping. I'm telling jokes. But then you make it in your own way, and you know my style. I'm gonna throw a little hip hop into my comedy. I'm gonna throw a little, musical, whatever like that.
Didn't you have a thing? Because someone told me that you had a thing with like a lot of people want to know that something about us breaking up, and you like God broke us up. Jesus broke us up.
I told that joke. I didn't tell it too often because I think I told it, and one time it hit, and then I told it another time. People was like, yeah. I was just like, I said, man, Play started changing the words of the song. The yeah. Roll with Jesus Christ.
People told me, and I thought it was funny. I was
What
like,
are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't saying nothing. I'm like, I said, I knew we had to take a break after that. He's slipping it in.
Hey, look,
No,
man,
without my okay.
every group have at least one or two members who blow the bag, who fumble the bag. Which one of y'all was it, man? Come on, keep it a buck. Which one of y'all was it? Who blew the bag for the group?
No, I don't know.
Who blew the bag for the group, man?
No, I don't. As far as Play and I are concerned, I don't think you can say that. I think to Play's point, there was a time where we were kind of growing apart. You know what I mean? He was coming off. A marriage that went left. I was out in the streets wilding. I was out and about doing the most.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I heard about it.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, everybody heard about it. Yeah, Les heard about it.
There's video.
Les was one of my co-defendants.
There's
whatever,
video.
like that.
There's footage.
Yeah, there's footage. No, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong. I always felt like we respected what we had created. So even if we went in different directions and was, we was diverted for such a time, and Play was on his route, and it was a very spiritual route, and it was finding himself and educating himself. That's how I viewed it, and I was on I just need some new surroundings because. If I'd have stayed in New York, I was gonna die. I was that wild. So I went that route. But I think fortunately, I don't think we ever messed up the brand.
I refuse to be a stereotype. When you look at a lot of the great duos, Martin and Lewis, Cosby and Hope, even maybe Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby, I refuse for us. I was always, no matter how things may be that's not good, I refuse for it to be, for us to end and go out in a way like a lot of duos did. And there was no real reason to. We're humans and you go through what humans go through. You know what I'm saying? I've always thought it would have been interesting if there was a project that involved cinema for us again. I've always wanted us to do a remake of Uptown Saturday Night, because I think it's very age appropriate. It goes with what's going on and who we are. Two cats that are older. Let's go out and have a good time one more time. Let's go hit a club and you get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But going back to the fact that I never wanted it to get to a point where we ended up becoming a stereotype in regards to a lot of what happens to a lot of famous teams and duos. And there's nothing that ever really came that did that. But again, we're two humans. LA is interesting, but it's not for me. I'm always East Coast, but I love the West Coast. Yeah, it's evident. You know, he's never come back. I thought one day
I'm never coming back.
But no, I'm East Coast all day. But it works. It's the yin and the yang in regards to any and all things we do. And it, even when we mentioned to you, we have a podcast, the Fun House,
right,
where we get a chance to talk. Sometimes we have no guest on there on purpose because we kind of interview each other. You know what I'm saying, like that.
But on your word, Willie D, we're asking you right now. Can we have you on our podcast, The Fun House with
Kid and Play?
Okay, you heard it.
Yes.
You heard it.
Absolutely.
And Willie D always stand by his word.
I would be honored.
You bald-headed hoes, don't ever forget.
Yeah. You have money that you took from me.
Please tell that story.
You probably don't remember. Do you remember?
Oh, yeah, I absolutely remember that, because that was some good money, man.
Man, listen.
That was some good money.
Wait, hold up. Before you do it, before you get it, set the scene. First of all, people gonna understand. They have to understand. You talking about Kid and Play, and the Ghetto Boys was on the same tour.
It's that, and I loved when we had to come. I'll talk about this. I loved when we had to come to Texas for two reasons. I love jewelry, and I love Rolex watches. I collect watches, and the interesting thing at that time, and correct me if I'm wrong, was a lot of conventions, and they probably still do, but a lot of conventions take place in Texas and Houston. A lot of white men come, and after, when they do what they do for the conventions, for work-related stuff, they have a good time. And they have a good time with women that they have no business having a good time with. And this thing was on the news where these women was drugging these businessmen and getting them for their watches, their Rolexes, at that time. Mm-hmm. And they was flooding the pawn shops with Rolex watches. So a lot of the pawn shops wanted to get rid of hot merchandise so you could get Rolexes and stuff at a good price. So that was my love. And also Herbie loved buying guns. We would buy guns. We'd have a hookup with someone who have a Texas license, pawn shop, get guns. We loved hanging out with y'all. It's time. I think it's a stop on the tour.
Who are you?
I'm just setting the stage and the vibe. We make a stop where we either had a show that night and we're here for the night, and we get into CeeLo.
Mm-hmm. My first time playing.
I didn't know that until he said it
First
today.
of all, I told him.
I
never knew.
I told him because, you grew up playing craps, right?
Yeah.
You played craps.
Well, I didn't play craps growing up. In fact,
yeah, but what they play. That's what they play in Texas. They don't play CeeLo in Texas. CeeLo is a northeastern.
Yeah.
That's an East Coast. That's a New York.
Craps is
that's
universal.
3 dice
Well,
instead of 2 dice.
Yeah, craps is universal.
I didn't start shooting craps until I was like 23 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Around the same time I started playing
I never
CeeLo.
knew that was your first time.
Yeah.
And
No,
I
I
lost,
walked
I
away
don't know
with
if
like
it was
50 racks.
1,700 or 1,800.
1,800?
Yeah.
I hit you for some thousands. Come on, bro. Nah, that was some thousands.
The only thing 1,000 about that is the 1,000, 1,000 in the 1800s. Ain't no.
Look,
But you know what?
I walked away with like,
as time goes by, things balloon. The story balloons. Like how much thousand you talking about?
Or the story diminishes.
How much
You know?
is it
wait,
your
hold
story?
on. Wait, Play saying you got him for 1,800. And Willie saying I got you for 18,000.
Nah, because first of all, I wouldn't have that much on me. It meant everything as my word. Pay your joint. So
Listen,
that was done, whatever.
Wait, to me, and guess what? I was there. I was there, and I don't gamble, but I was a witness, and I'll never forget. And I was telling him, this was the first time. You had never played CeeLo before.
That I didn't remember.
He didn't know this 3 dice. And we explained, y'all explained the game to him. And then Willie like, all right, let's go. Let's go. No. And boy, I don't know if it was beginner's luck or Fifth Ward luck or whatever like that.
I don't believe in
He
luck,
bust
man.
you. He
I
bust
don't
you that
believe in
night.
No, and that goes without saying. But it wasn't for no thousands.
The amount is in
back then, 1,800 might have felt like thousands because that's a lot of money.
It definitely was thousands because I walked away with like 40 or 50 racks. It wasn't all yours. It wasn't all yours.
Well, you had a good night.
But at least 17,000 was yours.
No, bro.
I don't know.
Nah, bro.
But you know what? Let me ask you this.
We got zeros upon zeros on zeros on comma.
Let me ask you this, Willie, because these are the things that I think we had trepidations about or questions about when we was coming up. Like when we were linked and we knew we was going to be on a tour with y'all, or we was going to be on a tour with NWA. I'm not gonna lie, and I think Play spoke about it earlier. This is like, yo, man, these like. First of all, we didn't know each other then,
right,
and we just like, but I know of you. I know Ghetto Boys. I know NWA. I know Too Short, and that's about as far as. And I enjoyed the music, but I'm just like, well, that like it don't fit.
Yeah, right.
Didn't on paper didn't feel like it fit. And I'm not gonna lie.
That shit worked.
That shit was a hit.
But
let me tell you that. Wait, all right. Real quick story, because it all falls in line. One time we were doing a show in Little Rock, Arkansas, and Too Short on the show. We had never done a show with Too Short before, and I started hearing him, we got Too Short, this and that. So I came to the sound check early in the day, and I saw what the lineup was. And I saw Kid and Play, and Too Short going on after Kid and Play. And you know what I mean? And I'm like, like what's going on? Who's Too Short? What? Talking about? You know what I mean? We all on the rise. I'm feeling myself. We feeling ourselves. And I'm like, man, Too Short. Okay, all right, bet. So we do the show that night. Man, we come out there, man, we blaze that motherfucker like, bam, like that. We like. Follow that, my dude. And then Too Short come out, like 10,000 people out there. Too Short come out by himself. Dancers, no nothing. He come out, he said, yo, let her rock. What's my favorite word? Yeah! 10,000 people said bitch. I was like, okay.
It reminds me of the Jay-Z story when he speaks about when he was on tour with DMX and there was all these super rappers on there and how he admits the fact that he was intimidated by DMX. And it was then who's going to have the greatest show, get on last, all that kind of stuff. And he said what blew him to want to elevate his show was the show he did where, like you said, thousands of people, 20,000. DMX isn't even on the stage. You know how they give him the mic backstage, and all he did was, and the crowd went crazy, and he just ripped it. And Jay-Z admits that was a time where he was like, "Whoa, I got to really work on my show for someone to have that kind of attention and demand on the crowd." But what I do want to say is, I feel as though all of this, when you get with Too Short, knew of Too Short, don't know his music. Y'all, same situation, but it was an education. because New Yorkers, we always at that time felt we were the ones,
Right. We
nobody
invented
else
it.
but
We
us.
da-da-da.
Who are this stuff from
No.
the South over here, whatever, and to come out and pretty much be humbled and be educated, still hold our own, but at the same time seeing when it's time to go back to the studio, maybe we need to put a little of that vibe from to give them some
and then
that
you know
kind
what?
of flavor, that kind of beat, because you could see it when Herbie and I were together. I'll never forget, we was in somewhere in Florida, the girls was playing, and who's the one throw the D?
Yeah,
That
was that
record.
Shy D? One of them.
We never heard of him. He hits the stage,
Some
the
booty
crowd goes crazy. I forgot the other record, and Herbie was in my ear. He was like, yo, I'm going to make one of these. We go home, few days pass, he makes that record, and that record was Push It, based off of being influenced by hearing this other vibe elsewhere and seeing there's a bigger audience outside of just New York. So that was education, and I learned to enjoy it, respect it, all of that. It was an education.
And this was the thing. This is the thing. To me, the most important thing for me was when we got a chance to tour together, us with y'all, us with NWA. Guess what? Come to find out, we liked each other. Like we got friendly. We didn't know. Y'all probably thought, these New York niggas think they invented da da da. You know that. I know. Yeah.
We went
You know
up
what I'm
in there
saying?
like, yeah,
And
man.
then, but
Going
guess
behind enemy lines.
yeah, but guess what happened? Guess what happened? We found common ground.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you
found
from Texas,
a man
we
called
from New York,
Les.
but we both like pussy.
We found
Hey!
a man called Les.
Yo, God, Les is the glue. But even with NW, you know what I'm saying? Like, and these are, and can you imagine that? These are friendships that we have to this day, man. You remember that? Man, this was over 30 years ago.
Here's a story. We went to certain areas where you weren't supposed to curse. And if you cursed, the police was on the side ready to get you in the whole nine. There's a part in Getting Funky where on the record it says, don't even mess with me, we're getting funky. But when we were doing the tour, we were saying, don't even F with me, we're getting funky.
Right.
We're doing it with confidence and whatever. So we go to the city and they tell everybody, don't curse because the cops or whatever. So we
That's
go
how.
and do
That's
our
how.
thing.
You remember how they was?
Yeah.
It
Is
was
this
cuss.
Alabama or
This was
Colorado?
Cincinnati.
Exactly.
No, this
Is
is
this-
Cincinnati.
Right.
And I'll never
Okay.
forget, the dude came on and he spoke to us prior to the show. He said, "Hey man, we're so glad to have you, but they you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
These crackers, they own us. So whatever you do, don't cuss, or it's going to be something." You
So
know what I
that
mean?
night-
Or you will be arrested. Dude told us. He was a bros. He was trying to school us.
So on that night, instead of us doing what we've done every night with NWA and the whole thing, we punk out. Don't even mess with me. We're getting funky.
Yeah, we used to say, don't even fuck with me. That's
All
what we
the
used to
rest
say.
of the tour, any of those members we walked by, especially Easy, would go, don't even mess with me. We're
No.
getting fun. But he would do it like in a real
Ice
real
Cube.
feminine-
Ice Cube would say, "Don't even mess with me."
Yeah, but
I'm
I
like,
remember
"Hey, relax."
Easy E, the same thing. Don't even mess with me. We're getting funky.
Don't even
But
mess with
the
me.
reason why is they did curse. They did
Right.
stick to their
Yeah,
show.
and they had to run off the stage.
Run off
Yeah,
the stage
yeah.
to get arrested. So that was the thing, in regards to everybody, okay, who's going to stick to their show
Yo,
and don't change their language.
Wait, let me tell you when we did get arrested. Okay.
Oh, we did do that.
We
Humping.
did get arrested. We got
Grinding and
arrested.
humping.
Kid, can you believe this? Right, this is going to be a clip. I can imagine. I can tell you. Kid and Plate, we got arrested in Augusta, Georgia, for simulating the sexual act on stage. We used to have a part where, we got the DJ and the DJ playing these slow jams.
No, we were talking about how we would do it, how we do it with a girl
just
in bed.
me and you, all this and that. Right, and you get on the floor and you start grinding, So in Augusta, Georgia, we literally got arrested.
But that's the same Augusta, Georgia, where Bobby Brown got arrested.
Bobby
too.
Brown got
Same place.
arrested.
Not that
No,
night.
Tommy
It was
Lee got
different,
arrested.
yeah.
James Brown. And James Brown is from Augusta, but yeah. You know what I'm saying? What a different time it was. Like it was so silly. But to bring it right around, that's one of the great things that I love about being a hip hop artist is that it brought us in touch with all these other hip hop artists, different people. Like, you know what? If we wasn't doing hip hop, I wouldn't know you, Willie.
Right.
I probably wouldn't know you.
Yeah.
How would our paths ever cross? How would I know? How would we know Willie D? How would we know Face? How would we know Bill? How would we know Easy E? How would we know
Tupac?
Tupac. Yeah, how you know what I'm saying? When Tupac was carrying crates for digital, how would I know that? How would I know the Booyah Tribe? How would I know Nelly? How would I know Luke? How would I know? How would we know? And that's the glue that brings us together, and how we still kick it to this day.
Even outside of just hip hop, how would you have known Bill Maher? Somebody who you wrote the theme song for it. That Real Time with Bill Maher. Did not know that, but I do my research.
Yeah, you sure do. And you ain't got no notes, bro. Ain't got no notes up in here, man.
You got it written in the palm of his hand.
No, he got it.
Yeah.
Dude got it. Yeah, but you know what? But that's another thing. I mean, and like I said, individually, all three of us, the success that we've had, together, but that we've all been able to kind of do solo things and affect situations and prosper, and then we bring it back. We bring those experiences back. So if you're talking about a Bill Maher, yeah, like I said, when I ran to L.A., he was somebody that I became friends with, and you know what? I know he's controversial at times, but he was really a smart dude, and he taught me a lot. Not everything that I ascribe to, because that's not what good friends do. Being a good friend to somebody doesn't mean you agree on every flipping issue. That's not. I don't know what that's not a friendship. That's like one person being in control of another person.
Yes,
you have to be. Yeah, I say yes, man. You have to be willing to speak your mind and speak truth to power and speak truth to your friends, even when it's uncomfortable. But yeah, these different opportunities, and once again, like I said, all the things that Play accomplished on his own, all the different things that I accomplished on my own, man, we bring all that back. We bring all that back to this thing, the thing that we built together. And it makes it better. And a lot of times I think it made us appreciate when we're together, because maybe we hadn't been for a while. So I don't know.
I would say to and I hope I can articulate it correctly. It's amazing to me that we've all become what we watched when we were younger, when we watched television, and we saw these people we call stars, and on television, and we hear about them on the radio, all of that. Now with technology and stuff, what we all are is that. Because in any given moment, you could turn on the radio, or terrestrial radio, whatever, and your song will come on. How's that any different than back in the days you turn on the thing and you heard the Spinners or the Temptations? You turn on the TV and any minute, a music video or a movie will come on that we're in, or there's a reference to us. We've become what we marveled at when we were younger, and probably aspiring to want to do that. It's here. We've done that. We're here. We are entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That's what we are. And it's amazing to me, because I could turn on the TV and see at any given moment there's a Kohl's, however it's pronounced, Knowles department store commercial with a white family doing the Kid and Play kick step. That's what shows all the time now. Either the movie comes on or whatever. People, you speak your name, people know your name. We have become, I think the word is called, celebrities of this era, of this time. We're established now. You know what I'm saying? It's not it's
too late.
Already gone.
It's too late.
Are those. We
Does
are
that bug
the very
you out?
shows.
Doesn't that bug you out?
Or to take the time and realize that.
I don't really, I have to along the way celebrate these type of things, because I'm constantly evolving, and I'm constantly looking forward, just like you guys, to the next thing. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times people have to stop me and say, "Hey, man, remember?" Hey, and then I go like, "Damn, yeah, I did that shit." This is what I wanted to ask you guys about. When you look at the career of Kid and Play, you guys have done movies, you've done records, you've done commercials, you've done you've hosted. Damn, bro, hosted and then
cartoon
comedy
series,
you did the
Marvel
cartoon
comic books.
Yeah, y'all have done a lot. You guys really are icons, man, and your work transcends your era. Okay, that's big.
Yeah,
when your
that's-
work
yeah, I
can
get you.
transcend your era, that's big. I was checking out that Progressive commercial the other day. You guys like, and then I thought back. I was like, wait a minute. Y'all did a State Farms commercial way back in the Gap. I think that was 09 or something like that.
That was the one with no,
LeBron.
we
That was
did
with LeBron James.
but we also did another Super Bowl commercial.
Oh yeah,
for
Radio Shack. Yeah.
That was I don't know how many Super Bowls and stuff, but yeah, that was one where they were putting a lot of money into bringing Radio Shack back.
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
failed
Didn't work.
effort
Didn't work,
eventually,
but, yeah.
they had all the people of the '90s in it. They had Elf. They had the car, Alf. I'm sorry. They had the car from Back
Yeah.
to the Future.
Hulk Hogan.
They had Hulk Hogan. They had what you call it
my
from
nigga from Chips, Eric Estrada.
Yeah, all
Mary
of that
Lou
in this
Retton.
commercial, and it was a clever commercial. But they had, matter of fact, they had to put a wig on us to recreate our hairstyles from the movie.
Totally.
Well, yeah, we did have another one. We went in a Super Bowl commercial for
Yeah, no,
Radio Shack.
and you know, the Progressive commercial was like really. I mean, was a big. We hit a lick with that.
I know that
And it
commercials
was-
are big money, baby.
Yeah, we hit a
That's
lick
big
with
money.
that, but I think maybe what you're getting at, and it's kind of how that particular commercial evolved, was about a young brother who we just happened to meet on a plane, on a flight, who was a big fan. And come to find out, we were like-minded, or he and Play were like-minded, and he was like, "Yo, y'all should," you know what I mean? Like, he had a vision, and he had the connects, and I know Play and my man Walt, had a lot of contact with one another, and he was letting him know how, if you're gonna do something, this is how we would want to be presented, and maybe this is how we really don't want to be presented. But he was a young bruh. He grew up on us, so he was never gonna violate. He was never gonna disrespect the brand or the name or us. And it turned out to be, a very successful campaign.
You just never know, because
And you never know.
when he approached us, he had shared with me what he does, because it was one of those things where we were tired getting off the plane. He was coming over to let us know how much he loved us and all that, and just when I speak to people like that, I try and make the conversation equal. It's something like the Lord put in me. People want to talk about the movies and you do the whatever, and I've learned now. Ask them, what do you do? You know what I'm saying? And hopefully
Right.
make a
What
big
are you
thing out of
passionate
whatever.
about?
So that's what I asked him. I said, what do you do? And he said he was an agency and they do commercials. And I expressed my frustration. I said, I've always been wondering why we haven't been approached to do a Geico commercial.
All right, cool.
In
This, that, and the
regards
third.
to
Sure.
a house party gone wrong and the insurance for it. And that's when he came up with, hey, I know somebody to know somebody. And it evolved into what Kid was saying. But you just never know.
That's
because
dope.
I would have easily just nice to meet you, take a picture and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying?
See, here's the deal, and this is for not just us, but all of those guys out there that have put the work in hip hop, and even beyond. If you got a brand, you can always get some money, because guess what? Especially if you grew up in our era, because
Come on.
those people that grew up on our
Come
music
on.
are the leaders now.
They
are
you.
the
They are the
executives now.
decision makers.
Teachers,
They are making
doctors, presidents of banks.
Yeah, they running it.
And the thing about it is these kind of agencies and stuff. Now, a good friend of ours that we grew up, Ron Lawrence, who was one of one of the Bad Boys producers and stuff. What were they called?
The Hitmen.
The Hitmen. Ron Lawrence. Done so many hits. Plaques is bananas, from Aretha Franklin to Luther Vandross to LL Cool J to J-Lo. But he did Faith Evans, Never Knew a Love Like This.
He did Biggie.
Yeah,
Can't you
Hypnotized.
see?
But where I'm getting at, when our commercial was running, sometimes back to back, his song the Faith Evans thing, what was it, Walmart? I think it was.
Yeah, one of them joints.
Yeah, it would be back to back. And we're like, because he had, we hang out, we stay close. So he'd come to Virginia where I'm at to speak to my class. And we both at lunch was like, this is a crazy 2 national commercials. And we all grew up together in the same neighborhood, like, the whole Park Jam and everything. And it was just amazing, like, yo, you got this commercial and we got this commercial. Look at how far we've come. And it's funny how you say transcending, because I say that a lot too. All those kids that grew up now, they are leaders.
They're the decision makers.
Exactly.
They're the emperors of style. They're the ones that create content. And so they're going to be affected. Really?
We got a funny story that I want you to tell it.
Really? What? Which one?
There's always a part when things begin to change that things might not feel good or be comfortable. I remember when we was trying to get another kind of television thing or something like that with our good friend Suzanne DePass.
Okay.
And remember that meeting we went to where we were pitching an idea for a show, and it was like nothing but young people. That was these decision makers in the thing. And remember how we just pitched that thing, and they just got up and walked out of the thing, and we were all. I'm surprised you don't remember that. We were stunned.
No, I probably tried to forget it. It sounds very embarrassing.
We were all stunned because it's like, is that it? Is that what it was? The thing? Is that what it all was? And it's like, but the thing was, is these young people that their thing was, I guess, the gangster rap or whatever, that popular thing going on then.
Right.
So we had to go through this valley.
Yeah, we're in a valley.
Of like, they ain't feeling us. It's like, Kid and Play or whatever. And it was a wake up call.
Yeah,
to
if you've
see
been
the
in the business,
happen.
I find I would be hard pressed. Or show me. Tell me if I'm wrong. You've been in the game 20, 25, 30 years.
Over 30.
Tell me tell me who was on top the whole time. Doesn't really work like that. No, not for most of us. Maybe for some, but that's about it. But it's about when you're in the valley, how you get up out the valley.
Yeah. But even Michael Jackson wasn't on top the whole time.
Oh, no.
He was always famous. He was always an icon. He was always that guy that people go crazy for.
Same thing with Prince.
But when you talk about on top, we're talking about sales. So he wasn't always on top in terms of sales. No. But here's what I want to ask you guys about. House Party, tell me if this is true or not. Was it not originally meant for you guys? Did New Line Cinema present that script to you guys second?
No, I knew you was going there.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, 2 brothers that we would meet at these, like that this was the era when independent labels ruled. The majors didn't have rap. It was the independents. So they would always throw these dope parties, especially around the holiday season. We'd always run into these 2 guys that would come up and say, yo, we got this film idea, da-da-da-this, da-da-da-that. And we're like, yeah, because in an earlier interview, Kid would describe it as we were getting ideas for scripts and stuff that were whack. So here they are. We keep running into them over a period of time, and they're telling us how things are coming along. But they always had us in mind. The original idea and some of the names that stayed in it was for Groove Be Chill, the group that was with Uptown Records.
So it was not
they
for
were
Jazzy
friends.
Jeff and the Fresh Prince?
No, I'm going to tell you what ended up happening. So we're having great success with our music videos. Warrington and Reggie is like, yo, these are our guys now, Kid and Play. And they're telling us about how we got a meeting, the script is done, and we're like, yeah. Each time we're seeing them at a party, they're giving us a thing. Yeah. So finally, we believe him. Kid has read the script. He feels that there's something there. However, they got to deal with New Line Cinema. And they want to show New Line Cinema that Kid and Play are the ones. However, New Line Cinema, which I ain't mad at them, they want to hedge their bet. There's money they're getting ready to invest. They want to make sure they have all the components in it that's going to make it a success. Who's banging at the time on their level, pop culture? Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. So they want them to do it, but the problem they're having with them is that Will and them did a record called Nightmare on My Street. It was too close to Nightmare on Elm Street, so New Line Cinema is suing them. They're bringing them to court. Really, Jeff is like, how dare you come to us with a movie and we spending good money to protect ourselves of you suing us in court. So that's their own thing over there. Reggie and Warrington Hudlin always wanted Kid and Play in it. We end up going up. They want us to do a cold read or an impromptu sketches and stuff in front of these white men at the time. We don't really know them from a can of paint, but they're very powerful individuals as decision makers. And it wasn't fancy. We're in this little office, it's all crowded on a couch, and they're naming these things for us to do. Act like players mad at you because you owe them money. Kid, you act like so-and-so and so-and-so. I personally thought we were horrible. And I thought we weren't. Yeah, it was terrible. Over. We weren't terrible. Whatever. However, what ended up happening...
there goes the movie.
There goes that. What ended up happening was, it's time for us to leave. We're in the heart of New York, but there's schools around, and they're let out, and we're walking out at the same time because one of the VIPs is lunchtime, or he's going to get something to eat. Let me go downstairs with these guys and walk them out to be courteous.
So everybody go crazy.
We go out. The school, because we got music videos. This video music box.
Yeah.
BET's Rap City, all of that stuff. The kids see us, it's like the Beatles or the Jackson 5
it's like
or whatever.
The Beatles got back together. You know
this
what I'm
VIP
saying?
rushes back upstairs and tells them, no, these are the guys.
You better get
whatever.
these dudes.
And that's what ended up happening.
In a strange twist of irony, you guys have your cartoon canceled, and y'all pissed. Right?
Very.
You totally did his research.
You're pissed about this, right?
Yep.
So it turns out that you guys, y'all make a decision that y'all don't want to mess with NBC because with this new sitcom that they got.
We had the two deals. We had two deals.
Yeah.
We had a cartoon. And first rappers. First of all, let's get it straight. We the first rappers have a cartoon. Before Hammer, before anybody.
Right.
So we had that. And at the same time, we had a standing deal to do a sitcom, to a nighttime sitcom, whoop-de-whoop. And it was one of the I think it was one of the worst decisions we ever made because we were so upset. We were so upset when they canceled the cartoon. Because that was like a really big deal for us.
And y'all didn't trust them either, though.
Yeah, but this is the deal. This is what we didn't see at the time.
When they canceled the show.
But it wasn't personal, though.
Yeah, this is what we didn't see at the time. We took it personal, and it shouldn't have, because what they were doing at that time, they were getting rid of all the cartoons. That's when they started doing TNBC, when they started doing Saved by the Bell. All the stuff was live action. So they got rid. It wasn't just like they got rid of us.
All of that stuff.
Hang Time. They got rid of all the cartoons.
And we thought they were only getting rid of ours. That's
we took it personal. Yeah. And so what we said was, this was a very bad decision. We said, if you guys don't want to do our cartoon series, then we don't want to do this nighttime sitcom, which was ready to go.
And they called our bluff.
They called our bluff. And then who got that?
Will Smith.
Will Smith got that.
But what makes it so interesting, and this is what I feel is the worst mistake, as far as how I felt about it, maybe it's us, but I'll say me, is that we were rocking for a while with Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones approached us because he wanted, after doing Will and them, he wanted us to be his next show, probably on NBC. But he came to us and pitched this idea of what the show was going to be. It was about Kid and I with an older man, and we're all, for whatever reason, roommates. That man was going to be Don Rickles. And we're like,
how does
what?
This work?
We're like, but like he just said, looking back at it now, because at that time, anything Quincy Jones was touching, and it just would have raised our profile in regards to, pop culture.
If it had worked.
Up on the thing. It might have, because now when I look at it, when you think about Don Rickles, he's a cranky old man.
Yeah, we could have made that work.
It might have been like Chico and the Man in a way, you know what I'm saying? That kind of thing.
Yeah,
but we said no to that, and he said, well, what do y'all want to do? And Kid looked at me, I looked at him.
Told you this.
Yeah, Yeah, we
Quincy
hung
got
out
that
with
kind of
Quincy
power
for
like
quite
that?
a while.
He still got
Quincy,
that-
He did?
We ended up wanting to do Uptown Saturday Night. He loved the idea, to the point where we ended up going to Sidney Poitier's home to get his blessing. We had to eventually run into Bill Cosby to get his blessing. I remember how rude he was at first when we met him. Kid might have said something that caught his attention to do one of those numbers that my father does it all the time when you're saying something that means something. You know, they point the finger like, you got something there, boy. You know what I'm saying? Like that. So I think
What Bill
his
Cosby
body
did,
language was like his back was like to us.
He was
Kind of rude.
He wasn't a
cold.
nice
He
guy.
had his back to y'all.
He was not
He turned his
back
back to you?
like this.
No,
but
no, he didn't turn his back,
body
no.
posture, like we came to him. I was going to say something. I'm not doing that. No, what you want, no more. So his body language was cold. But as we're
Yeah, he
talking
was.
to him
He
or
was
whatever, I think Kid said something that was impressive that made him turn around and be like, you know, maybe rappers ain't as dumb as I think they are. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. But as the script was getting developed, it started getting to this whole hologram thing, all this stuff that just,
Some
they were
weirdo.
losing
Like some
the
weirdo
thing
shit.
to the story, and things just never happened. But it was a nice time to
Right.
be with Quincy and him
And he was
Sydney,
always,
you know, yeah.
he was always nice.
Because we
to
were
us.
part of that Earth thing he did
Yeah,
too. It was a
Earth
special
Day
Earth
and
show
all
that he
that.
did.
Yeah, yeah, he was-
where he had all the rappers, Melly Mel,
Yeah.
everybody
Quincy
was
was
involved in
always Quincy was always nice to us, and this is
Yeah.
the thing. This is one of the things that we, I think we appreciated it and noticed it. A lot of these heavy hitters, they didn't like hip hop in general. Did not. Quincy Jones, you know, no, not hip hop in general. Don Cornelius.
I was just going to say Don
Did
Cornelius.
not.
Yeah.
Some other, you know, but they liked us. You know, look at even a guy like Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey don't like hip hop. He's railed against hip hop for
Always
years.
loved, though. Always
You know, when the kid got shot and all this and that,
Yeah,
he went
that's
off
why
on hip
That's why I
hop.
don't like Steve Harvey.
Yeah, but this is the thing.
Hip hop saved some of our lives.
Let me tell you a quick story. Remember that lady? You remember this lady? Remember the black lady? Man, what's her name? C something.
C.
Man,
Dolores Tucker.
C. Dolores Tucker.
Yeah.
Remember she used to come
Her
out,
and
man. She
Dionne
hated
Warwick.
hip hop.
Her
Yeah,
and
she hated
Dionne.
hip hop.
Until-
She coming in, she running over the she like with Calvin Butts
Yeah,
and running over with the power driver,
CDs.
all the CDs. And so they were doing a TV show. I forgot who TV show it was, but they invited me. They invited me. I don't even think you was there.
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
think
there.
I've ever met her.
Bunch of other rappers and this and that, and Wu-Tang, some niggas from the Wu-Tang and all this and that. And we up in there and see Dolores Tucker, she gonna be on the panel and she gonna do battle this and that. And we there, we like, man, you know what I mean? Like, man, you know, she's doing us wrong, and Man, don't you know she come up in there, she like, kid and play. Oh, man.
Not now.
Not now.
Not now.
You know, all
Not
these-
in front of them.
All these Wu-Tang niggas look at me, nigga, what's up?
They treating you like you a
You
snitch,
know.
like you the like
Well, you gotta like
law,
me.
like you a law and order snitch. It's
Yeah,
like, you know what
right,
I'm saying?
exactly.
Yeah.
I had to leave. I left a little bit early from that taping.
That's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been in that position sometimes. Like, if you didn't like it, but you know what I mean?
And it's funny
But they liked
because
us.
Don Cornelius, you know, I think there's no other rappers have done Arsenio Hall more than us, but we've been on Soul Train plenty of times. And the thing about him, he in the opening of our show, we have a voice, credit to Kid, putting together this opening where it opens and the voice you hear introing us with great words, great, accolades, and it's him. And we have that. But I know, speaking with Curtis Blow, he had a bad time on there when he went to do Soul Train. He could feel the coldness and the body language of Don on there. You can see some of his interviews when you see Soul Train and watch Don with some rappers. He ain't the most welcoming. He's not a very warm blanket.
He ain't like it.
But the love we got from
he
that
liked us.
guy was like really, and we wasn't butt kissing anybody or nothing like that. We never,
They just liked us.
we never. That wasn't what it was. We was just ourselves. It was never going in there cooning and brown nosing. That's what I was trying to remember that phrase. None of that. Never, ever, ever. We showed respect, We let them know, hey, Don, we grew up, we watched Soul Train,
Love
whatever. That was that energy.
He let
in
us go down the Soul
Quincy
Train line.
Jones, forget about it. There's a lot of people that we got with. We did Night of 100 Stars a couple of times. We did comic relief to get together back to the television thing and I have pictures of all of this. All these stars that we watched on TV and grew up with, like, to meet them. And some of them didn't know tell them about the time with Muhammad Ali.
Man,
You got an Ali story, man?
Yeah, but this is the thing. Okay, so it was one of them joints, Night of 100 Stars, right? So we're there, we're like in the green room, everybody chilling before you have to go out and whatever you do your performance.
Stars.
So then they bring Muhammad Ali in. You know what I'm saying? And by then he's already, he's not he not right.
Yeah,
he got the shakes and all this and that. So
Real
they
quiet,
very quiet, very quiet. But he's the champ. That's the champ.
Everybody's
champ. So they sit Ali down. He's sitting on one of them folding chairs. And he's just there. Like when when the dude got some bubble wrap.
Yeah.
Like they come in a box. You got bubble wrap, and there's somebody gave him some bubble wrap, and he's just popping. He's just sitting there on the chair. He's just popping the bubble wrap, and we just man, champ popping bubble wrap. He'd say, but he was kind of big by then. Yeah, I mean, we just like, oh man, but everybody's quiet. So much reverence. That's the champ. And man, the chair gives way. Because he was kind of big then, you know what I'm saying? The chair gives way, and bam, he's sprawling on the floor. He sprawled out on the floor, man. Everybody didn't even make a move at first because, oh my God, the champ is down. The champ is down. And then everybody kind of ran over them to kind of get him up there. Yeah, man, and it was just like it was one of those things like, man, when you see your idols really up close and they're not at their best or they're a little, you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
frail.
A lot of times, man, I would turn down opportunities to meet certain people because right now in my head, they're perfect. You know what I mean?
I got to that point as well. It's like, leave them where they're at.
Yeah, I was at a concert. I was at a Sade concert.
You getting away from the Muhammad Ali thing. Finish that.
No, but what happened? He fell?
When he saw you.
Oh shit! That's right.
Dude.
Okay. All right. You're right. Okay, I did forget about that part. Okay. All right. So this is before he fell down.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Sorry.
When you got to that point, I'm like,
okay.
dude.
I'm sorry. Okay. So yeah, we're there. We're in this. We're still in this green room, right, or whatever, right? And I got the high top. The high top is in full.
It's added. Yeah.
Fucking bloom. It's banging.
Yes.
It's banging. It's crispy. It's fresh. And they're bringing the champ in, and the champ is, he's kind of shaking, and he's doing this and that, and he's meeting and greeting people, and then they bring him, close to me. He's coming across me, and he gets a look at me, and he's just like, he's looking at the hair like he's transfixed, and so he goes like this.
But he's showing life now.
Yeah, he's showing life. Yeah,
he was so whatever.
He was like, I ain't never seen no shit like this.
But when he saw a kid, he was like,
it was. Yeah,
it's like a little bit more of him.
Yeah. A little light went on in the tunnel.
Yeah.
So and he was, and he looked. And he started reaching out like he was. And player tell you back in the days, I ain't never let nobody touch my hand. I like disrespect. Like, I'm not a dog. You can't just pet me on that, but this is a champ. The champ wanted to do it like that. And so he went up.
It was a beautiful time.
He touched it. He patted it on the tail. I let dude do whatever the fuck he wanted to do,
man.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's Ali.
That's the story I wanted you to tell.
I forgot that part.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Now
I forgot that part.
Sade story.
Oh, the Sade story was, that's a quick story. So I'm at the concert in L.A., and nobody's a bigger Sade fan than I was. You know what I'm saying? And I'm there, and I scored a ticket, and I'm there, and I'm fucking jamming, and I meet one of her security guards, and she's on the stage, she's barefoot, she's like, she was always on, she was always my favorite. That's my golden girl, if you will. And so the security guy, he was cool. He was a brother. He says, "Yeah, man, I'll take you back there. You know, you can meet her. Then I'm like, nah, dude. Like, I turned it down. I was like, yeah, I don't want to. Right now, she,
no.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, why didn't you want to meet her?
Man, I mean, I was scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm scared. I'm going to do something. She going to fart. I'm going to fart. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But right then and there, she was perfect. I'm like, I don't want to. Yeah, I'm going to leave it on that note. Very, very stupid. Very immature. You know what? You know, she could be. You know, I could have married her. Who knows?
When was this?
This was in L.A. Universal Amphitheater.
What year?
Oh my God. Early 90s. Yeah, when
Early
she was
90s.
out and about. Yeah, man, it was. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes you just get.
Yeah, she was killing it.
Even as a celebrity.
Early
Well,
90s,
I can remember
Even
lots
as a
of
celebrity,
ones,
you can get
lots of
goofy
ones that I've
about
been
other
disappointed
celebrities.
or I'm sorry that I met. I would have left it right where it's at. You know, Bill Cosby could have been one. You know, and thank God it went
Yeah, he could have been
another
nicer.
way.
He could have been nicer.
I remember when Madonna specifically
Oh, yeah, she
wanted
tried to
Kid
play
and
me.
I to do. Well, I'm not going to go there, but specifically wanted Kid and I to host her remote celebration of her book in L.A. And she had someone. It was bi-coastal. MTV was doing bi-coastal, so it was a party and celebration in New York. It was one in L.A. Out of the blue, we hear Madonna wants us to host the one in L.A. We're like, wow. I'm excited for a different reason because I met her then. Kid, another reason. But we ended up doing all these high-profile interviews for all these stars that came to this party. And here's Steven Seagal.
Yeah, he was
And
kind
I'll
of a
never
dick.
forget, like, this guy, like, you want to talk about just, like, being a jerk, basically, you know.
Yeah, he was a
As
dick.
I've gotten older, you know, I could understand more. You catch somebody
Tough
on a
guy.
bad day, because I can be one to do the same thing. But it was one of those interviews like pulling teeth. You know, we're asking questions and you're only getting one-word answers. Yes, no, today. Thinking about it, you know. So it was like that was, it's not like I was a big fan of his, but come on, Steven Seagal, you know, all the movies and everything. Yeah. So when you meet, you just get to the point where you say, you know what, with certain people now.
Was this somebody, did you meet somebody famous that disappointed you?
Yeah, but let's go back to you.
What?
Madonna, how did she try to play you?
Okay, so this is what happened. Okay.
She played me too, but anyway.
She played both of us. Yeah. But, okay, so at that particular time, she had her backup singers.
I knew a girl named Nikki.
Yeah, right. So I used to date.
But she wasn't that.
I used to
Shout
date.
out to Nikki.
I used to date one of the backup dancers, who's just a sweetheart, just a sweet girl. Mm-hmm. And you know, I think because of how both of our careers was going, like it didn't connect the way it could have. Although we spent a lot of really, really sweet times together. So I guess maybe we weren't together at that particular time. But when Madonna is there and we're trying to interview her, you know, Madonna's kind of riding for her girlfriend, you know, for Nikki. And so we're trying to ask her questions. Hey man, you got this brand new movie, Truth or Dare? What's going on? Da, 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 da. And Madonna's like, what's up with you and Nikki? And I'm like, hey, whoa. You know what I'm saying?
Where'd that
so
come
she
from?
she didn't give us a lot either, but I understood that. You know, she was like, yo, you know, don't do my girl dirty or whatever like that. And
What'd you do to her girl?
I didn't do nothing, man. It just we were, you know,
They were trying to embarrass him. They were trying to embarrass him.
Never.
They were trying to embarrass.
I'm not that. I ain't that guy.
They were trying to embarrass him live, like
Yeah,
on TV.
yeah.
And it was interesting
live.
because he
This
and
is
I
live on MTV.
Oh, so Nikki was in on this.
No, I can't even say that. I cannot even say that. No, I cannot say that. But obviously, they were all tight at the time. So you know what I mean? Madonna knows what her dancers and backup singers.
Girl,
that was homegirls.
Back then
They
you could
used to kick
see
it. Yeah,
they
they
was
kick
in
it
several,
hard.
and it was a third one. It was like three of them. But you could tell because when it was, this is an interview he and I are supposed to be doing with everyone, and when she comes up and she's with her people, there's other people with her. They're like, get me out of the frame. You know what I'm saying? It's like everything is just
Let's attack this dude.
Come in on him. And I'm like, what? I didn't know what was going on. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah, they tried to phone Voltron on your boy. You know what I'm saying? But you know, it was thing. I mean, what I understood it. You know, we played it off. You know, we were off the cuff. We go, hey, all right, hey, we'll be right back.
I couldn't care what was going on with him. I was like, okay, this is your thing, whatever. My thing, how I got played was years ago. She used to be girlfriends to a very popular and successful DJ, Jellybean Benitez, in New York. He ruled. It was always about remixes on your song. He was the guy to go to get it. And he used to DJ at this place when he was trying to put Quicksilver and the Super Lovers on. We had a routine to Cat Stevenson's was Dog a Donut. We was trying to get permission to use that record, but Cat Stevens had become a monk. So we're just waiting for him to come down from the mountains and stuff to say it's okay to do this thing. In the meantime, we're hanging out in clubs we couldn't normally get into because we're his guys. So the Fun House was the place to be. We go there. So we're a very eclectic place. You don't know how people are dressed. Could be like a little bit like maybe Sodom and Gomorrah, but not to that extreme. It was just crazy visually. So one night we're there. It's his girlfriend. And I'm not in the mood to dance. I'm just watching people. And so is she. We end up sitting side by side and talking all night, like all night. And I wasn't trying to hit on her or nothing like this. It was just great conversation we were having. So now it's time, last record of the night, time to close the club. But don't forget don't forget next week with the big talent show or whatever. Make sure you come. There ain't no telling what kind of talent's going to be there. That's what kind of club it was. And he spun there. I forgot to mention that. So she goes, we feel like real close and comfortable now. She hits me and goes, so you're going to come back next week and see me do my thing? And I'm like, I feel comfortable enough to say to her, what you going to do? She says, I sing. I said, yo, what you sing? And it just so happens the last record they play of the night is Everybody Get Up and Dance and Sing. That's a big hit record at the time. She said, they're playing my record right now. I'm like, what? I said, yo, we sitting here all this time and you never once told me like who you were. She said something to me that I took with me to this day. She goes, because I wanted you to talk with me and kick it with me because of me, not because I made a hit record. And that just resonated with me. Fast forward to that night, I don't even care about him. He dug his own grave or whatever. I can't wait to see her alone so I could go, yo, don't you remember this, whatever? I'm thinking it's going to be like, yeah, look who we become because we're big now, she's big now, all of this. Good. So I find my way. I think at this time she's seeing Vanilla Ice, so that's the rumor. So I sit next to her, finally get a chance to sit next to her. I think she's engaged. I know it wasn't him. She was talking to somebody. Finally, I got her to turn around and go, hey, remember me? Don't you know? Da-da-da-da-da. And she just looks at me and go, no. And turns back around and continues the conversation. Wow. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to remember the first Madonna. I'm going to forget about this Madonna right here. And I still that's how I am with people. I hope when I sit down and speak with a stranger, especially on the plane and stuff, you can get in all kinds of conversations, meet people. What gives it away is when people pass me and they're like, yo, what's up, play? Da, 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 da. And they'll be like, who are you eventually from that? But if that doesn't happen, we just talk. I never once get into, if they say, what do you do? I say, I'm in entertainment. I don't make a big thing out of it. But I hurry up and say, what do you do? Right. And we'll just stick with that conversation for most of the flight or whatever. But that's what I learned from Madonna,
You mentioned Sodom and Gomorrah.
And I shouldn't have, but since we're there.
Right.
We are there. Thanks to this guy named Diddy in New York. Now, you guys have had house parties, and you've been around some exciting women. You've had an amazing and remarkable run with the ladies. Do y'all ever, get a little...
Beside yourself?
Well, you ever get a little nervous and think that, with somebody from your long distance past may try to come back and accuse you of something? I mean, obviously, I'm talking about something that was consensual.
Yeah. It's something to think about. It's truly something to think about because when you look at that era back then and, I'm going to go there. So you say Sodom and Gomorrah. Back then, most young cats grew up watching pornography. And when you see how not kid, how when you see the behavior and how things would get to that point where you're gonna have sex, the woman isn't that much respected, or either you get the impression that they'll say like, kind of be reluctant, and all you got to do is rub on them or whatever, and they'll change their minds quickly, So you walk away from that. You're thinking that's the way it should happen, and that's the way it go down. I myself, it got to a point where it's like, I'm going to have probably have an unromantic conversation with you. And we used to have this term saying, yo, you got her, you're going to do this. Is she DAC? It was an acronym it was DAC. And we go, it's DAC. DAC meant discussed and confirmed. That means we're going to have a discussion and she's with it. But no more of that assumption. Because subconsciously, when you're putting those images from pornography, or you're having that stupid talk with homeboys, yo, it's like this, you need to do it like that, whatever, the dumb teaching the dumb, you take that into those situations with the girl, and, now later comes back, you did this to me, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, I think that's where things were at that time. I mean, I could be wrong, and different people have different journeys, but when you hear the Cosby talk about pills and they're supposed to be thigh openers, I think that's what they call them and stuff like that. It was something that was popular and common, and now, women come back with credible things like, yo, I never felt loved in that thing. I felt very used, or whatever the case may be. And this is no excuse in regards to why men do what they do. I'm not condoning it, but it was a very interesting time back then when all it was about, especially being on tour and on the road, all about getting women. Who'd you get? How many did you get? All of that. Where was the love and sympathy and empathy in those kind of situations? You just trying to mac.
And to be fair, a lot of the women.
And I don't want to some kid felt the same way. I hope he says something.
I don't know what he's talking about. I prayed a lot on tour.
But to be fair, a lot of the women was just trying to get off too. Around those times, because
nobody's was angels.
Because that was times when you'd have these groupie chicks, certain groupie chicks. I mean, whoever in town, that's who they gonna be with. So let's make sure that we put that out there also, but at the end of the day, no confusion. No means no. No means no. Kid, have you been following the Drake stuff? The Drake, the battles with Drake and Kendrick?
Yeah, you know what? I wasn't like up on every single, when they was going back and forth, right? But I definitely was on the last joint, the They Not Like Us.
Yeah. What do you like about that song?
Well,
or do you like it?
He like it.
I do like that song, and I'm a fan of both. I'm a big fan of Drake's, and I'm a big fan of Kendrick. Wait, remind me. I got a funny story to tell you about Drake and Les. Okay, but this was like a different kind of battle, because they were just back and forth in a really short amount of time. Typically, somebody, shots fired, and, it's like a couple weeks later, and then somebody comes back. But they were coming back, dude dropped one, the dude dropped another one that night. Excuse me, it feels like Kendrick had a very, he had a plan. So the last one, the They Not Like Us, what I found in it, since it's dropped, it's really kind of, it's become a West Coast anthem. It's got that mustard on that beat, ho. It's got that bounce. It's got that hyphy in it. And one of the things that I like about both artists, but particularly Kendrick on that song, you understand everything that he's saying. You can hear every word. When people try to criticize some of the rappers of today talking about mumble rap and this, there's none of that. He's very crisp and clean in what he's talking about. But what I did hear a rapper, Benny the Butcher, when they asked him about it, he said, you know what? It didn't strike him as a traditional battle stuff. He said He said it felt gossipy. He's talking about this. He's talking about the guys in Drake's crew. This guy's a pedophile. This guy's, you know what I mean? It wasn't like maybe the battles of old school when LL was, when they were talking about your skill or lack of it. Mm-hmm. These things are getting like really personal about people's personal and private life and type stuff like that. But what it shows me, and you mentioned Diddy earlier, what it does show me that I don't care how big you are. Seasons change. Fortunes can change over even a short amount of time. And so that was to me that last Kendrick record was a body blow. It reminded me of remember when Nas and Jay-Z were going at it. They going at it back and forth. And then when Nas dropped Ether, you were like, okay, this is over. Like, you know what I mean? You Jay, you lost that. Nas is the winner. And then I know Jay tried to come back a little bit after that. He tried to have a little something different. But then you know what? Jay is so smart. The next big record that he did after that? All I need in the life of saying is me and my girlfriend. He said, you know what? Fuck this battle shit, nigga. I'm going back to the hits. He did that big record with Beyonce, and ain't nobody, you know what I mean? Nobody tripped after that. Him and Nas got tight. He signed Nas to Def Jam, So what I would say is this, and what I would hope out of this battle, you talking about two of the great young artists of this hip-hop era. I don't know what the original beef was, but they went back and forth. Something Drake rocked. Some thought Kendrick won. I don't like that. People's coming around shooting up people's houses and stuff like that, and shooting security guards and stuff like that. You don't want it to get to that level. But you know what? There's always going to be that competitive flavor in hip hop, and yeah. I mean, if good music comes out of it. Because look, Drake was throwing his shots too. He had some good shots, but that last one with Kendrick was a thumper.
What do you think about the colorism that people are alluding to in hip hop, especially as it regard to Drake? But a lot of people are saying, well, Drake ain't black.
Yeah.
His mama is white, his daddy is black, and when you think about that, I know your mom was white and your dad was black. What do you think when people say that he's not black because he has a white mother and a black
what?
father?
I don't think that. I don't think that's fair. I mean, they could say that. They could say that about me. You know what I mean? Isn't it about?
I do.
Isn't it about? Thank you, black guy. Isn't it about how you grew up and where you grew up? And the circumstances within how you grew up, I don't think it's as simple as that. Maybe it was at some particular time, but trust me, I'm, any of the battles that biracial people have to go through, I had to go through. But you just have to be who you are. And for me, it was okay. Apart from who my parents are, all right, who raised me? What is the environment that I grew up in? Who am I around? Who have I been around? Who taught me about life? And for me, it's real easy. I mean, my mom's was white. She's a great lady, but she died when I was young, and I was raised by my father, my Jamaican father, who, that's the only family that I really know.
What side was more accommodating to you? What side
there
was
was
more
only
receptive?
one side. The black. Let me tell you something. When my mother and father were never married. They met in New York. They were both social workers. It was the 60s. Not a great time to have a biracial kid, right? But that's what happened. All right. So my mother was Irish. She had these old school Irish parents. When they found out that she was pregnant by a black guy, they threw her out the house. They disowned her. So I never met them. So I don't know them. And so I never missed them. You can't really miss anything that you never knew. You know what I'm saying? So it was just me and her. And she wasn't even fucking with my dad neither, because he was Jamaican. He was slinging it like, Raymond St. Jock. He was all over the place. So it was just me and her until she untimely passed away when I was 9. And then my father scooped me up and was like, this is how we going. So that's the only family that I've ever known.
Kid, what is it like, though? What is it like, just your overall experience going through life, in your skin as a product of an interracial relationship?
You know what? I joke about it now. I even put it like in my comedy now, because when you're growing up, especially like I said, I grew up in the 60s and 70s. So, I was an oddity. You know what I mean? I was in some ways an outcast. But like I said, I just kind of trusted, like, who am I around all the time? Who's teaching me about life? It was always black people. How did I meet Play? Because my father brought me and planted us in a very black neighborhood in Queens, New York, in East Elmhurst. So that's where I'm at, and that's where I felt comfortable, and that's where, who knows? I don't know if Play was skeptical about me or whatever like that, but I was always like, yo, I went where I felt comfortable, I went where I felt loved, and when people like Play New Neighbors or whatever, man, they embraced me. They were just like, okay, he's got big thick glasses. He looks kind of goofy, but you know what I mean. And that, so I always gravitated to where I felt comfortable, and I never looked back, And the one thing I will say is, and I'm grateful for that, the kids that grow up today that are biracial, I don't think they have to go through what I went through. They don't.
Not
you know
as
what
much,
I mean?
but
Yeah,
my kids are
biracial. My kids got Spanish and black and Jamaican. Yeah, they do. But it certainly wasn't. It wasn't like it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think this younger generation, they don't even trip off of that. There's
a tanning taking place.
Yeah, they don't trip
everywhere
off
I
of
go,
things
when you see a white woman and she has children, I see more and more that white woman with a black baby.
I mean, look at all the commercials. All the commercials on television, everything is biracial. A lot of biracial things. And once you see, when Madison Avenue, when the advertising agencies and that community, when you see them putting that into advertising, that lets you know, because all they do is research, and they look and see, okay, this is where the country is turning. This is where the world is turning. You know what I mean? It's like back in the days. When I knew hip hop had made it, when I heard Fred Flintstone rapping about Fruity Pebbles, I'm like, okay, Madison Avenue is on it. That means hip hop is here to stay. It's a factor. So my journey, when I look back at it now, it was tough. It was tough when I was young, but I always ended up where I was supposed to end up. Mm-hmm. And I ended up doing, what I love to do, and this, that. But real quick, before I forget, I gotta tell this Drake story right before we bounce. Okay, so this has to do with Les. Okay, so Drake used to have that thing every summer, right? The weekend. What is it called? The weekend
in Houston.
Yeah, in Houston. Yeah. So we come in, Les calls me, says, yo, man, come on down, blah, 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 blah. So we go, big weekend, right? Jay is there, everybody's there. So there's a big party, like on the Friday night, big thing. I forgot the name of the place. You know the place. So we up in there, and Drake is there. And so Les is like, hey, man, you see Drake over there? You don't want to take a picture with Drake and this and that. I said, yeah, let me take a picture with Drake. Take a picture with Drake. So the three of us take a picture. So it's me, Drake, and Les. We in a picture. Boom, take a picture. Picture great. Throw the picture out. Man, I don't know what I was doing, man. Like some months later or whatever like that, man, I was spazzing or whatever. So I said I wanted to throw the picture back out, you know, you're on social media, but I cut less out the picture. I cut less out the picture.
In the immortal words of Rick James, cold-blooded.
So I cut less out the picture. So it's just me and Drake. And watch. I'm gonna send you the pictures. You can throw it up on the thing.
Your own boy,
listen. So it's it. So I'm in the middle, and then Drake is there, and then Drake look like he kind of leaning on me, kind of thing, like two light skinned niggas, shit like that. Bro. I cut my boy, and then guess what? Naturally, less because he see the picture on social media, he called me up. Hey man, why you do your boy like that, man? You wouldn't even got the picture if it wasn't for me. Nigga, why you do your boy like that? So I was like,
that's crazy.
I apologized. I said, man, I don't know what I was doing. I was spazzing out. I cut my boy out the picture.
Sheesh.
So. All right, yeah,
well, look,
right.
Man.
So I'm. Look, even the half black don't crack. Here we go.
Man, it's been real, man. I'm so
That's
glad
what's
to
up.
catch up with y'all, man. And hey, man, are you still doing the comedy stuff?
I sure am. Yeah, I was in Dallas last week. I got Colorado coming up. Yeah, I mean, I love to do it. Like it's a different, it's like working different muscles than kid and play. But you know, you've seen our show. We get the jokes in on stage and stuff like that. So yeah, it's something that I enjoy doing. And hopefully I continue to do it.
I haven't seen you perform in Houston yet.
No, you know what I did, man? What's you know my man Al Freeman.
Yeah,
Al
I know
Freeman.
Al, yeah.
Yeah. I did. We did his club. What club was that? You remember that joint? Yeah, that club. Me and Billy D. Yeah, but you know what? I don't get here. I don't get here enough. So let's make it happen.
Yeah. I know the people over at the Improv.
Yeah,
man. I know they'd love to have
we
you.
came. Yeah, we came, and we came when they roasted you that time. We was here.
Absolutely.
With Mike Epps and everybody.
Yeah.
That was a good time.
That was something special, man.
Shout out to old girl Kai Meyer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That was
you
a great
remember her.
time.
Yeah.
And no, but yeah, it's look, like I said, as far as playing are concerned, man, we love when we're rocking together. But one of the cool things about it is when we're not working on a particular thing together, we have these other different entities and things that we do that inspire us, and then we take that energy and then bring it back into us, and that's where people love us the best. I mean,
Yeah.
they be jumping on Play when he by himself. They jump on me when I'm by myself, but when they see us together,
Yeah.
man, they go, Buck, wow, man.
I can relate.
So
I can
that's
relate.
that's what's up.
Play, what you got going on, man? What's coming up?
I've been working on, believe it or not, the official Dougie Fresh documentary. I've been working on it for might be over a year now, but quite a few months. I had some health situation I had to take care of that put things on pause, but I'm slowly but surely getting back into the post-production of it with more filming and stuff to do. So I'm excited about that. And I'm at Virginia State University when I'm not with the KID.
That's right. And
Teaching hip-hop. We just started a new arts and creative center there, working with students and stuff in regards to in the field of entertainment and producing some stuff. So I'm the director of production at that particular department, as well as educating as well. But But the
and the Kid Who Play
documentary.
podcast.
Yeah, I was going to get into
we
that,
get
but
good.
really
Really
excited
good.
about the Dougie project. But and a matter of fact, if I
Yep.
know next Tuesday, we put up new shows every other Tuesday. Next Tuesday is Dougie Fresh on our podcast. But we've had Tretch, we've had Roxanne Shante, we've had Kid Capri, we've had Groove Be Chill,
Chuck
Jill
D.
Mitchell and Chuck D. I know I'm leaving out maybe one other and
That's a
stuff,
good
but we look
lineup.
forward to
And
the
we're going to
lineup that
have
we
Willie D.
That's-
Are we
that's
not?
a good lineup.
Are we-
Absolutely.
are we gonna have
Are y'all
some-
filming in LA?
We're going to move around. Right
Yeah.
now, we're going to go on tour with it, a matter of fact,
Okay.
probably near the end of the summer. But right now, our eyes is on Atlanta. But we're getting all the major cities and stuff, because what we found with change is like not everybody is in New York like they used to be. So we're trying to be at the places where the people are at for their convenience and stuff like that. But it's really, we're having a good time and less activity, less working harder and thinking smarter. So, we're having a ball sitting down and having some good conversations and finding out stuff about individuals that people didn't know in a very, entertaining way.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you do here, Willie, asking the tough questions, right?
Yeah. Well, I just like to have a conversation, man. And it's easy to have a conversation with y'all, man, because y'all have such a rich legacy, man. And I really do appreciate y'all, man, and thank you, for your contributions, man. This hip hop landscape would not be the same without you.
Well, right back at you, our friend.
Hey.
And,
Ladies and gentlemen,
I want a chance to try and win some of my money back.
Ain't gonna happen.
Those chances is
What,
over,
the
brother.
18,000?
Well, I
see that
I don't
beautiful
even gamble
Mercedes
anymore.
truck out there. You know what I'm saying? We can barter. It ain't got to be money. It can be items.
No, man, I don't gamble anymore, man. Only thing I gamble on is business, strictly business. I don't take chance gambles. I don't do that anymore. Now that's it.
We'll talk about it.
Now that's it. That's it.
Conversation over.
Pray for me.
Bank is closed.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kid and Play.
Hey.
No more talk. Yeah.